Hey y'all, it's your boy Fox on the Beast Most from the East Coast, back with some extra information about Clive, this time about his stances. Now, the most important thing to know about Clive is that there's really only 5 situations that he can put you in for Phoenix stance, and 2 of them are the most important. The +6 situation and the +14 situation. So, first of all, I'm going to show you that there are a ton of moves that will put Clive into +16, or excuse me, +6, and I'm going to show them to you right now. You can see them on the bottom of the screen here. 1-1 will go into +6 on hit. 2-2 on hit. While standing 4, believe it or not. Sorry, 4-2-2 was that one. While standing 4, believe it or not, also is +6 into Phoenix stance. And then there are options that are good for getting him into +6 on block as well. I forgot to record this one, but I'll just go into the ones I did before. Example 1-2, +6 on block, 4-4, +6 on block. Notice that both of those had a high in them, right? And then also back 2 on block goes into that same +6. So if you block a stance transition that is a high, typically it's going to be +6 on block and give you that same situation. So there are fully 7 different moves that all give you the exact same situation. So if you learn what that situation is and how to deal with it with your character, then you're good to go. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about all of the different options that he has. He has 3 different 15 frame options. One of them is a mid, one of them is a low, and another is the heat smash. He's got a armor out of Phoenix 1, which looks like this. Big armor move, -14 on block. And he's got some slower options. He's got a low that is a hell sweep out of the stance. He's got a mid that is 23 frames, that's a heat engager. And he's got an even slower, low crushing mid out of Phoenix 3+4. You're going to see all of those in just a moment, and we're just going to talk about how to beat them. So again, we're talking about the +6 situation. I chose to start all of these transitions with 4-2-2 because it just seems like it is going to be easier for breadth to be able to use that one. Okay, so if you get hit by 4-2-2, you can still interrupt with a 14 frame low or a throw. So this happens and I go, oh, you think that I'm going to interact with you? No, I'm going to instead beat your armor. Basically, you can do that if you expect the armor, but if I expect the armor really, sidestepping to the left or to the right on this very linear power crush option is probably your best bet. You can still power crush him as well. Power crush on his power crush. You're going to find that power crush works well in a lot of these situations. Next, Phoenix 2-1 or 2-2. So I did Phoenix 2-2 there, but it's basically the same thing. Now, if you have a weapon parry, you can parry it. If you can flash, you can flash. Again, a situation where power crush is crucial. Spinning will not get you out of it. So even Yoshimitsu players, oh, never mind, I lied for just a second there. Manji evade to the right will work. Tragic for Clive mains in this matchup. I would not want to be a Clive main playing against a Yoshimitsu player. I absolutely would not want to. Next up is the Hell Sweep. This is probably the one that you guys know the most already, so that you can sidestep right, and even with Yoshi's trash sidestep, he's able to beat this out and be able to catch it. But it's also interruptible with a 14 framer. So if I was to do a throw, similar to what I did in Phoenix 1, right, that would work out. So that would be a pretty good option in general. I could also do this big 14 frame counter hit launcher if I think this guy is trying to sweep up on you. Of course, it's a hell sweep. You can always just go, boom, destroy him for it. But think it's even cooler if you get the interrupt, you know what I mean? Obviously, you can't power crush there because it's a low. Now, this other low that we have in Phoenix 4, this guy, not very steppable, not at all. I can try and try as I may, but not really going to work out. I'm pretty sure I can spin out because my name is Yoshimitsu, and so I didn't really put the spin a lot in these charts because it was like, well, you know, I'm just going to end up writing Manji evasion all the time. But not interruptible in this situation. You can flash there, but again, Yoshimitsu only situation. And you can absolutely power hop knee in there. Next we have the slow option, 1+2. Real slow on this guy. And so it is 16 frames interruptible. You're able to basically get it down forward to. If you're gonna interrupt though, I'd probably go for a 14 frame interrupt in general. Of course you can power crush. Power crush is the name of the game, baby. And especially heat first, because if you catch him in this aerial situation out of Phoenix 3.4, then you can get a big combo. And this one is 21 frame floatable. You won't float on jab. So like if you do a jab interrupt, he'll actually stay standing. I'm not sure when he ends up aerial. Let's see here. Definitely at least at 13 or 12. Okay, so he ends up aerial after 12 frames. So just maybe think about that if you're worried about the aerial stuff. And then last but not least, if he has heat, that is definitely something that you want to think about here. Is his heat is actually steppable from the Phoenix from the +6 situation. Look how I'm able to step it to the left though. This is not the situation that is like, oh, sidestep right beats everything. If you expect the heat smash, you're gonna sidestep left. Pretty much nothing else is gonna beat it other than a rage art, or again, if you're Yoshimitsu, you can flash. So now let's look in the right of the sheet. Power crush beats 4 options. A hop kick, a 15 frame hop kick, beats 4 options. A low or a throw that is 14 frame or faster will beat 3 options. A 14 frame mid will beat 3 options. Sidestep right beats 2. So keep that in mind when you're looking for options to beat the Clive player with. And of course, remember that he can always just not press a button after 4-2-2 on hit. He can just stay there and take his frame, and then you hit a power crush, or you hit a hop kick, or you hit a low or a throw, and then you die for it. So just always be careful choosing your options. Alright, next up we have probably the most important option, which is +14. Some of the options are +14 on hit, one of the options is +14 on block. That's the wall running 2. So I'm just going to go through the options that are +14 on hit. Options that are +14 on hit include 4-4, ends in a high, down forward 1-2, ends in a high. You have up 1+2, which is only available in heat. Only available in heat. You have down forward 1-1, forward. And then of course the wall running 2 as well. +14 on block. Everything else is on hit, is +14 on hit. Wall running 2 is the only one on block that is very extremely real. Alright, so in the +14 situation, you don't really have a lot of options. Power crush is going to be 3 of the options, and stand block, you just stay blocking, is going to make it so that you don't take as much damage. You're going to take chip damage, but you don't take as much damage for 4 of the options. So basically, those are your points of recourse. You're not stepping, you're not ducking. Like you can duck to beat the lows, but you're not going to low crush. You're not really getting much else out of this, other than power crush to be your power crush. Phoenix 2, if they do Phoenix 2, just hold that. It's a 15 frame option. You gotta hold that. If they do Phoenix 3, you cannot power crush because it's a low there, right? Now if I'm Yoshimitsu, I can flash, but else, this is a very, very real situation. I can spin if I'm Yoshimitsu, but I cannot sidestep right in a plus 14 situation. Definitely not possible. And then, same thing with the Phoenix 4, that low, very, very real. Phoenix 1 plus 2, you actually can, obviously, one of the slower options, do your Power Crush. And Phoenix 3 plus 4, even better, because you have the ability to burst. And, ooh, actually he's grounded, so I thought you were going to be able to get a pickup off of him, but that's not. And then, of course, there is the Heat Smash, where, you know, sit there and hold that 15 frame option that beats all armor, regardless of what you do. So, basically, Power Crush beats 3 out of the 6, Stay on Block beats 4 out of the 6. So, again, the developers are telling us you will need to either choose to Power Crush or not choose to Power Crush versus Clive. So all of the other transitions are actually minus on transition. So they're going to be either -1, -3, or -5. 3 of the options are -1 on block. For example, the 2 forward is -1 on block. Up 1 plus 2 in heat is as well. And then also down 1, which again is also only available in heat, is -1. So if he's not in heat, most of the time he's not -1, unless it's 2-2, right? So in that situation, you can see huge amounts of interruptibility. Everything is interruptible by a 15 framer or faster. So that means you just throw out a down forward to whatever your 15 frame launcher is, and if they went for a stance transition, they're getting blown up unless they do that Power Crush. So, we're going to talk about that. So like I said, you can interrupt with the 15 framer as long as they're not doing the Power Crush. If you look over to the right hand side of the chart, you can beat every option with Heat Burst. Sorry, 4 options with Heat Burst. If you're one of those people that like to move a lot and you want to move on these situations, sidewalk left to really blow your opponent up and be like my homie Luke Sidewalker, shoutouts to JJ Breeze. And then sidestep right will actually be 2 of the options. So let's just go through them visually for you guys. Let's see, block after you're going to, right? Sidestep left or sidestep right is going to beat this guy right here. If you use Heat Burst, actually your armor will lose because it's too fast, believe it or not. So you have to actually do a slower Power Crush to be able to beat that one. Phoenix 2-1 is not beaten by sidestep. Look how all fast this kind of works there. Still getting clipped. Crazy. So basically, yeah, you just go for your down forward 2 there, and forcing the Power Crush in the middle of it. If you choose to. Phoenix 3, still steppable to the right. I think I can sidewalk left as well. Yeah, I meant to write that, so hold up. That actually means that that's going to be 4 out of the options. Beautiful right there. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. And of course, the sidestep right will work in that same situation as well. Phoenix 4, you're not really sidestepping very well. You have to sidewalk this. And you should be able to get it fast enough. But you see how I walked and it still got kind of quicker. So yeah, if you're a walker, sidewalk left beats them pretty much every time. Then we have the 1 plus 2 option. You're not stepping that. Phoenix 3 plus 4, you're also definitely not stepping this. It is literally moving. And I'm not sure when you float here. Let's see if we float with a 15 framer. That'd be pretty nice. Hey. No, that actually caught him standing. No. Somewhere around 18 and 20 frames he's going to be aerial, so maybe keep that in mind if you're doing some interruption there. And then of course, if he is in heat, you have the ability to sidewalk left. Side step left is not going to be quite good enough, as you can see here. And obviously, you're not beating this with a Power Crush because, well, the Power Crush again. However, if it's heat burst, it should trade. So hold on, I have to amend. Let me state this actually. I didn't actually count Heat Smash as one of my option selects just because it is more rare that you end up with him in Heat. So just add Heat Smash in those situations and it'll be like out of 7. Alright, so that is the -1 situation. Only 2 situations to go. Okay, so the last 2 situations are -3 and -5, and they're basically the same exact situation, except they are more or minus. You can still do your 15 framer, so that's still on the table. However, there's a couple of little extras, like for example, since he's now more minus, you won't trade on Heat Burst should you try to interrupt the Heat Smash. You're going to trade on the Heat Smash. Or sorry, you'll actually interrupt the Heat Smash. Same thing with Phoenix 4. You're actually going to be able to beat it with the Heat Burst instead. And then this only happens in the 1-1 situation. He's -3 on 1-1. And then he's -5 after 4-2-2 on block or while standing 4 on block. And you can still do the same things that you were doing in the -1 situation versus him as you are in -1, the -3 and the -5 situation. So I hope that was all helpful. I hope that you guys have a good idea of how to beat Clive in these situations. If you must move, you should sidestep right. If he's plus 14, do not move at all. If you must do something, Power Crush is probably your best bet. If you have a situation that is not advantageous for Clive, like an on-block transition that's not while running 2, run that down forward 2. That 15 framer is going to interrupt and catch almost every time. Hope that's useful. Be easy, y'all.